One important element of the Focus program is community service. In this video, Sue Jones talks about the benefits of community and how community service can effectively impact others through the Focus program.
Okay, let's talk just a minute about community service. How many of you already, just show of hands, how many of you already have community service projects required in your high school? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Okay. They're not required statewide, but a lot of school boards have mandated community service hours for graduation. And it's just an excellent thing. It's done across the state. We don't require it as part of Focus. We don't require anything as part of Focus because everybody does, you know, what they can do. But we encourage you to have at least 2 community service projects a year, maybe one first semester and one second semester, or you can have one that lasts the whole year. But we know that community service encourages students to be proactive members of society, and it gets them involved. It incites their personal growth, and our students who help each other and then help others are more likely not to engage in these risk behaviors. It gives them that civic engagement, and they get to get into their community depending on which community service project they choose, but they get to get into the community, and then they get to realize some of the issues that the community is facing. But what we would like to do is just encourage just 1 hour or more a week to engage in community service projects, because the research shows that if someone volunteers that much, that they, just a week, 50% less likely to abuse alcohol, cigarettes, become pregnant, or engage in other destructive behavior. Is that not amazing? This is so valuable to our prevention efforts. And it's the other component where we do increase knowledge, but then we give them the skills. But this is what students say about community service. They learn, this is coming from students, they learn to respect others, they learn to be helpful and kind, and understand people who are different, and that's something we really need to work on in this state, our nation. And they learn that through community service. They do develop leadership skills, and this is something that they carry with them throughout life. I want to add here, it also helps add to their resumes for college scholarships. And they document. Anything your students do, they need to document it for starting in 9th grade for their, if they apply for any scholarships. But they do have a better understanding of citizenship and become more patient, depending, especially if they work with children. I think one reason that this happened with me, I had some volunteers years ago when I was a cheerleader coach at Jacksonville High School. We did a little K-6 cheerleader camp, and the cheerleaders had to come every afternoon after school, and one of them walked up to me and said, she was in my health class too, and she said, "Miss Jones, that was the best birth control lesson you have ever given me." She said, "I will never have a baby." She said, I will not have children. So depending on what you do, it could also prevent pregnancy. Those are some acceptable activities listed there, and I won't go over every one of them. But tutoring, if it's after school and not paid, could be an individual community service project for a student. These are some that are not acceptable community service projects if they get paid. If they go to the nursing home every afternoon, but they get paid for it, they can't claim that as community service. Court-directed community service, nope. Won't count. If they're fundraising for a school activity, that won't count. Anything that's unsupervised, they have to check in with whoever they're doing the community service for. If they are going to the nursing home, then they would get somebody there to sign that they were there for an hour or whatever. They can't do it if it's service to their own family, or if they're, say, I'm going to pass out campaign materials for an hour. They can't do that. That doesn't count as community service. But we will have this on our website too. We'll have the application, And we'll also have a service log that you can give your students so that they can have that in their possession. We will give you, most students, though, they don't want a folder and a piece of paper. They want to do this on their device. So you can take it and set it up that way too. They'd a lot rather do that. But that's the main thing. All this will be available. But, you know, we just want the students to get involved in their community and give back.